Our own Matt Lyons had the first USFL post-draft power rankings. So he had a draft with just the coaches' power rankings, and now he's got the post-draft power rankings, the USFL. So of course they have. Now that they have players, he went off by coaches. Now that he has players, here we go. He's got number one is the Tampa Bay Bandits. He pre-draft, he had them at 7. Todd Haley's coaching, he's kind of been in, but getting Jordan Ta'amu, Bruno Reagan, and Eli Rogers, BJ Edmonds, a lot of guys on that list that they drafted really, really well. That shot them up from 7 all the way to number 1 is the Tampa Bay Bandits based on their draft that they had. Notable players, Jordan Ta'amu, Juwan Washington, Eli Rogers, Derek Dillon, Vinny Papali, who didn't make it in the XFL. Bruno Reagan is out there. Devontae Davis, among some others out there. Number 2 is the Pittsburgh Maulers. They moved up from number 3. Kirby Wilson, first-time head coach. They got Kyle Laletta. That was a big name there. They had some good players defensively with Boogie Roberts added to the squad. So let's check out some of their notable players, of course. Let's see. Carlo Kemp, a defensive end. So some definitely players on this list, Kyle Laletta and others, really kind of pushed them up to number 2. Number 3, New Orleans Breakers. They were at number 6. New Orleans, in my opinion, that has the best uniforms in the USFL. Kyle Slaughter. Larry Fedora, of course, is the head coach there. Some name players out there. Larry Rose. Some fans are familiar with him. Jonathan Adams at wide receiver, Adonis Alexander, Austin McGinnis, kicker. Some people might remember some of those names. Number 4, he's got with the ugliest uniforms. Let me know in the chat what you think. Philadelphia Stars, they were pre-draft at 5. They had Bart Andrews as their head coach, but Brian Scott, I'm telling you, watch Brian Scott. He's following their championship spring league. While the spring league, Scott earned 2 league MVP awards in 2018 and 2020, and an MVP in the 2020 championship game. Scott will have some talented weapons with him. This is a guy that I definitely want to watch, is Brian Scott. All of us in the alt football, spring football world know of his name. It'd be really interesting to see that he gets a shot at the title. Darnell Holland at running back, Brandon Eagles at wide receiver, Matt Mengel, friend of the Markcast, is on there as well. Jerome Johnson at defensive tackle, Bug Howard at tight end. So they are number 4 on the list, the power ranking from number 5. Birmingham Stallions. Now, this is the team that I think needs to be the most dominant team in the league for this to be successful. This is the hometown team. This is the one that can sell tickets. This is the one that needs to be really good. If they're terrible, that's not good for the league starting off. I'm just pointing that out. But I like Skip Holtz. I think he's a good guy to start as your head coach. However, the draft, I don't know. He had him down at 5, kind of right in the middle of the lane, so to speak. Alex Magoo is your quarterback. Not a lot of fans knew about him. Running back CJ Marvell. People know of that name. Willie Yarberry, defensive tackle. Scooby Wright, people know him. Lorenzo Burns and Tyree Robinson on defense. That team, middle of the pack, number 5. Michigan Panthers. Now, they were number 1 because they had Jeff Fisher, and Jeff Fisher is probably the biggest name in here. They do have their quarterbacks is lined up, but that's not a problem. And Shea Patterson's Paxton Lynch. This is going to be a team to follow about this quarterback situation. You'd think they're going to go with the young guy, but Paxton Lynch might be the guy to lead the team. He was kind of a last-minute signing. I'll be really curious to see if there's other last-minute signing, but we already got our quarterbacks. You wonder if there's going to be the third quarterback taken, and some of these guys might get cut. Jeff Badette had some time in the NFL and, of course, the XFL. Same with Quincy Abadejo. I recognize that name. Let's see. Kevon Walker played in the XFL. Frank Ginda at linebackers. Just some notable names there. New Jersey Generals. Pre-draft at 2, they went all the way down to 7, Mike Riley's team, with really dropped down there. Ben Holmes is the quarterback, DeAndre Johnson. Trey Williams at running back, a name that you might remember. Malik Hamner, defensive end. We had an article about him on one of our, I think it was on XFL News Hub before we shifted everything to USFL News Hub. And Devontae Busby. And then at number 8, who also was a pre-draft at 8, stays down, Kevin Summerlin. Not a lot of people fans of his. The Houston Gamblers at 8. Some notable players, Clayton Thorson, Benji Bahar, played for the Ravens. Running back, Mark Thompson. Brandon Barnes, tight end. That's a name you might recognize from the XFL. Chris Odom, defensive end. Jamar Summers also, I think, had a really good XFL run. So this is the list right now. Let's drop it one more time. The early, way too early, but maybe not too early. Now, power rankings post-draft. He's got number 1, Bandits. Number 2, the Pittsburgh Maulers. Number 3, Nolens Breakers. Number 4, Philadelphia Stars. And number 5, Birmingham Stallions. At 6, Michigan Panthers. At 7, New Jersey Generals. And the bottom of the list, Houston Gamblers. Could the Houston Gamblers be the worst team in the USFL? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Send us a message on the USFL post-draft power rankings. We'd love to hear what your thoughts and what your personal power rankings could be. Let us know.